Welcome to our digital marketing course. So, if you're here, it is because you have decided to make the big move to the digital field, or you're just looking to expand your horizon and learn more about digital marketing overall. Either way, welcome to you. So, just before we begin, it's important for you to know that this course aims at giving you the basics of digital advertising before you jump into like the specifics of the different platforms um, that are available on that specific course. So let's get started, shall we? When we think of digital marketing, we tend to think about like the famous platforms that make the digital marketing ecosystem. But unfortunately, these platforms are not representative of what digital marketing is. The reality is looks more like that. And basically, it still doesn't stop there. It still goes on and on because that's what digital marketing is. It's always evolving, and that what makes the field so interesting is that it's never the same. There's never a day that you will think like, oh, I'm doing the same thing over and over again. No, you always have new platforms coming up. You always have new formats from the existing platforms that come up. So it's always evolving, and it's so interesting to deal with. So, which makes us think, well, what is digital marketing about? So, we do know that it is one of the most important aspects of marketing in the modern world. By definition, it is the process of marketing products or services using digital technologies. But I believe it is more complex than that. So, our definition of digital marketing is that it has the ability for a brand to build their visibility via promotion, identifying and understanding their audience. So, audience is at the core of digital marketing. And once they have been able to identify and understand their audience, it's the ability for them to engage with them on the right platform at the right time. So trying to reach to your audience in places that they hang out. And at the end of it, the outcome of it is to drive, for example, sales, traffic, can be a lead ad, can be anything. So using online-based technologies like PPC, social media, email marketing, SEO, just name it. So this is what we see as digital marketing. But one of the things that we do believe is that as the world progresses, so does the way we advertise and market our brands. So why and how is it important for a brand to be online, to be using digital marketing? So no longer are billboards and television commercials the only way to get your brand out there. In fact, with the rise of social media, digital marketing has become one of the most important tools for brands to reach their audiences. So one of the way it is important for a brand is that it manage any brand to gain visibility and discovery. So you can make your brand more visible to your audience. The second way is that it is one of the most effective way for you to reach your target audience. With a well-planned digital strategy, you can reach a large number of people without breaking the bank, and that's why we are saying that it's a very cost-effective way of advertising. So it also allows you to target your audience with a laser-like precision. So whether it is reaching people in a specific location or people who are interested in certain type of products or services, you can identify and reach new potential customers. But it also allows you to interact with customers and potential customers because you can engage with your audience in real time, which will then allows you to build loyalty. So how can you make sure that your audiences keep coming back to you? How can you make sure that when they are thinking of a brand, you are at the top of their mind? And it is interesting because not only it allows you to build loyalty, but the great thing with digital marketing is that unlike traditional marketing, it allows you to track your results and measure your return on investment. So this way you can see what is working and what's not and adjust accordingly, which will then allow you to drive more direct sales than traditional media. And you can see the impact of digital marketing in real time. So in other words, it is a very flexible way of advertising. So you can tailor your message and delivery based on the results you get. And this is why we say that the importance of digital marketing for a brand is that it always allows you to learn from your campaigns and your audience. And then you can use these learnings to adapt it to your next campaign. But while many think that digital marketing is a linear approach, the reality is completely different. A user's journey online looks quite messy because nowadays, with the amount of digital technologies that are available to us, there are so many touch points that we as a user have access to before, for example, making a purchase. So we need to look into all of these different touch points, which makes us think that the traditional marketing funnel is outdated. So if you have been in marketing or if you have studied marketing, you will be familiar with the marketing funnel. But with all the technologies coming in the modern world, with all the different evolution of digital marketing, I think it is very important that this marketing funnel needs to be adapted to take into account like the user's mindset, the behavior, and the market reality. So more than a funnel, it should be seen as a circle, like a cycle. It's an always an ongoing cycle. Because when you're creating awareness, then you have to create consideration. But then the user might go back to the awareness and then to consideration and finally purchase the product. And then you need to build that loyalty. And then it goes on and on and on. So it's always a learning process. Digital marketing, you need to see it as an always on learning process. And this is why in any time you're going to talk to a client, you're going to build your own digital marketing agency, let's say, always think of it as an always on cycle. Don't stick to the traditional marketing funnel that has been existing for ages and ages and didn't evolve. And we're in 2022, so we need to always keep this evolving the same way as digital is evolving. But what makes a great digital marketing strategy, you would say? Well, according to us, there are 9 principles that makes a good digital marketing strategy. The first one is basically having an optimized UX website. The second point is to have a social presence on the right platform. There are so many platforms nowadays, you don't need to be present on all of them. And that's one of the mistakes that most people do when they get started in digital marketing. The third one is for you to define the right objective and goals. So what are you trying to achieve as a business? Then define your budget. Every businesses or any clients or any brands don't have the same budget. So you need to be clear about what are you willing to spend. So be sure that you're tracking everything that you're doing. So tracking the results and the measurement of your campaign is very important. Make sure that you understand your audience and that you're targeting the right people. Make sure that you're using the right platforms as well. So based on the audiences, you will be able to define what are the right platforms. So you will be able to define where they are hanging out. Then make sure that you're crafting a bespoke and clear creatives. It is so important, but unfortunately, this is where there are the most problems, because you might have the right targeting, you might be targeting the right platforms, you might have the right objective, the right budget, but then when it comes to the creative itself, unfortunately, it doesn't reflect all of these. And finally, prioritize reporting and optimize your campaigns for a maximum impact.